Hive magic reveals itself in precise shapes. They follow the same lines and the same means. And yet our rituals still hold many secrets. Cards have scattered in the wake of your oblations. Our bond made manifest. I call them the Deck of Whispers. And they do whisper. Each of their ideograms appears to carry the weight of symbolism. Do not fault them for the forms they take. They are reflections of the real, and as opaque as the natures of their referent. We will interpret their configurations, divine their use. They may hold many meanings, alone and in conversation. As with all hive magic, they ask us to separate the true from the dead. We will do so.
I heard you Guardians got a lesson in sword logic today. You think you can defeat Xivu Arath with philosophy? Right. Let me show you something. Savathun kept records, and I took a look at what she had on her sister. Got a recording from way back, just after you Guardians drop-kicked Oryx into Saturn's orbit. Call it a primary source for your little research project.
Our brother is dead. I will take my revenge as he sought for his son.
Revenge? For what? The dead deserved to die. That's your own logic. Oryx was a hypocrite, and so are you.
He loved us. He made of our deaths a study. And she, who has endured, who sharpened the sword of his defeat, has done the same. She will take up his mantle. When she is paired to her true shape, we will meet her on the bladed path.
What a vain child you are. Oryx spoiled you rotten. Not everyone wants to be like you. And you won't always get your way.
I will test my strength against her brood, and she will prove our logic true.
Do you see what you Guardians did? Do you see what's happening here? Xivu Arath thinks Eris is one of them, some kind of heir to Oryx. That ritual of hers tied a pretty bow on that theory. This is all part of Savathun's plan. But I can't help wondering, what the hell does Eris think she's doing? So, you're really taking on Xivu Arath's top general. I love watching you do our dirty work. I was digging through Savathun's archives, and I found this little gem from about 1 million years ago. I figured you should know what you're up against.
For the first time, the Ammonites broke us. Hordes of my brood lay rotting in tribute. And the fetter of weakness was upon us. But our enemies have bait stars of their own. Their cruel admiral abandons the battlefield to attend their frail Leviathan. They would live in peace without first killing death. We shall reward their insolence without mercy. Go forth, my brood. Devour their Leviathan. Become their extinction and make temples of their corpses.
You humans think you're so special. The Ammonites had the Traveler, a Leviathan, even their own light. Their civilization made you look like pond scum. But they ain't around anymore. Because Xivu's brood wiped them out. Every last one.
thoughts extract their sustenance from between what is and what might be, between the actual and the possible. When the Hive made their ill-fated pact with these worms, they gained immortality and the power to make of the world as they willed. Few beings in this universe derive their power this way. The Queen of the Reef believes it is the same method as the Ahamkara.
The Wish Dragons were too dangerous to exist.
So is Xivu Arath. My connection to Asa is regrettable. But this was the only path towards my goal. I invoked the worms, and she answered.
And did you know that this would happen?
It was possible, as all things are possible with this kind of power. This bond has not been attempted since the worm gods made their bargain with Witness. Asa may have rejected it then, but the desire to overpower the universe with one's will is woven into her being. She is not beholden to it, not addicted or enslaved. The deep is not her nature. But I have tangled myself within this desire through the use of the staff's larva. Now I possess her power.
This could kill both of you.
That risk is ours to take.
You glowbugs are awfully trusting. I'm not too comfortable giving all this juice to your kooky little witch. The exo-stranger warned you that Eris would be corrupted by power and turn into a tyrant. Said she's gonna rule us all. Even Savathun.
In Elsie's timeline, Eris was corrupted by stasis in the darkness. But here, Guardians wield both safely. We've proven that they can be used for good.
For your little parlor trick, sure. But this is Hive magic you're playing with. You really gonna hand Eris godlike power and just hope she keeps it together? After you was specifically warned not to? The hubris!
Elsie said that Eris succumbed to despair, pushed over the edge by her nightmares. But the Eris I know has been tested countless times and never once faltered. Instead of being overwhelmed by her nightmares, she conquered them. Besides, our Eris has an even greater advantage. She has her friends protecting her, and that's a force strong enough to alter any timeline. This has to stop. Throwing yourself into danger is not going to solve our problem. We have to step back and find another way.
You would put me in the library, and I would be so glad of it that I would never set foot outside its walls. But only I can stop Xivu Arath, and nothing is won by my complacency.
Eris, this is too much for you.
I am not so frail, Ikora.
I have never thought that.
Then do not treat me as such. You know that I am capable. And now you know of what. Ikora, I have always had your trust. And you have never needed my forgiveness. Now please, I ask for your support.
Do you know what I see? A friend who takes risks because she doesn't want anyone else to. A friend who is too afraid to look away from disaster and thinks destroying herself is the only way to stop it.
I held back when Savathun took the light. I allowed others to go in my stead and take the revenge I am owed. And I made a promise to myself. I would be her ruin. We both value action in times of loss. Let me act. Let me be who I am.
I don't want you lost to this.
Then help me finish it.
Mission report number 472.622.3. Regarding our ongoing attempts to breach the extra-spatial portal within the Traveler, I'm relieved to report that Eris's risky plan worked. Her final ritual banished Xivu Arath from her own throne world. The Hive God of War is vulnerable for the first time in millennia. When the time comes, we can finally force a decisive engagement against her. But first, we have to deal with the Witness. To that end, it seems the Witch Queen held up her end of the bargain. I didn't want to let her go, but Savathun offered some enticing collateral. She left Amaru in Vanguard custody. He's an odious little wretch, but an important one. As long as we control the Witch Queen's connection to the light, she'll think twice before crossing us. It went against my every instinct to let Savathun squirm away again. But we need to keep our attention on that portal. She gave us the secret to breaching it. Now, we just need to discover what form it's taken. For now, Asa is back in hibernation, and Eris is recovering. More than that, she's thriving. I was worried that Eris's obsession with the Hive would overwhelm her, but she's carrying herself with an air of confidence I haven't seen in a century. And I'm just glad to see her happy.
Oh, sister. Look at how far we've come. I was always destined to become a queen, and you a knight. Just like that facile human game you like so much. Knights are so powerful there, agile and unpredictable. But there's only a thin line between the knights and the pawns. Do you know which side you're on? Ah, now the Witness. There's a king with vision. It has an end in mind, and it knows what that means. Your game has always been the attack and trade, the thrill of victory and the agony of retreat. When the means is violence, you're happy to no end. But this game isn't fought to the last knight standing, or even the queen. It ends when the king has no moves left. Not endless fighting, but the end of fighting. Listen to me go on. You've got other problems wherever you are. You've been locked out of your own castle. Mortal for the first time in millennia. As someone recently back from the dead, I sympathize. But before you move to retaliate, just check. What will it mean to be a knight after the game has ended?
Hey, Amaru! Amaru! I heard you ain't enjoying the Vanguard's hospitality.
Stuck in this bush league tower with all these nice ghosts. What do you think?
Sounds like someone's got a chip on their shell. I'd be bitter too if I got turned into a moth monster's leverage. Seems like a bum deal.
I kept the Lucent Hive in line for years while she tried out in the Vanguard's vault.
Feeling a little disrespected?
Please. I had my orders. I made sure that wannabe Hive kept up her end of the bargain.
That you did.
You all think you have the upper hand. But I know Savathun has a plan, and I'm here to make sure it follows through. And Wait. Why are you talking to me?
No one else wants to. Can't imagine why.
You wouldn't understand. You Guardians all prance around with your ghosts like they're your best friends. No dignity, no professionalism.
You think so? Maybe someday I'll, introduce you to mine.
Ophiuchus, I need you to pull some logs from the Cryptarchy archives. It's been a while since we dealt with an Ahamkara. The Hidden will need to be briefed. Bring up any thesis papers on how the Ahamkara grant wishes. Include all hypotheses on why they seemingly misinterpret people's intentions. Our best minds have been working on this for centuries, so there should be plenty. Next, pull all the hidden reports on the Wall of Wishes. I know it makes bargaining with wish dragons less likely to backfire, but we'll need to know exactly how the Techians designed it. And speaking of the Dreaming City, set aside all the after-action reports from the Keep of Voices, and highlight anything to do with the lost final wish. If the path into the portal really depends on a wish dragon, knowledge will be our most potent weapon. They're powerful in ways that we don't understand, and I'm sure they have some hard feelings after the Great Hunt. We'll need to tread carefully. Ahamkara don't give second chances, so if humanity's survival rests on a wish, it'll have to be impeccable.